Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Buzzing About Romance Happy Hour edition. Tonight, we are celebrating author Shannon Schroeder, aka Sloane Steele. Welcome to Happy Hour.
Thank you for having me. I'm pretty excited to be here.
All right, Becky, let's read the bio. I want cookies.
It's a good stress relief.
Although I noticed I gained the COVID weight, so now I don't think the cookies are a good idea.
I bake them. I don't eat lots of them. Like I have like one or two when it comes out of the oven, and then everybody else in my house and all of their friends gone.
That's the way to do it. So tonight, the rules of the night, you can ask all the questions that you want in the chat. Oh, Susie is saying we have no sound. Oh, okay.
Because people show up live to let us know this.
These are the problems of live. Should I keep going or should I wait a second? It's kind of our shtick, the awkward.
That's okay. You got to be good at something.
We are working. Oh, that was you. Never mind. Okay, so the rules of the night. You can ask all the questions you want in the chat. We will do our best to answer them. In the description of the video are links to all the places you can connect. If you like, follow, and subscribe at the end of the night, two? Just one? Two?
One
Lucky person will win a t-shirt of their choice tonight from the iHeart HEA's Etsy shop. They are the co-sponsors of our summer reading challenge. And the winner will also receive an e-copy of, you said, whichever book they want, correct? By Miss Sloane Steele. So do we have audio for Becky yet, Susie?
Yeah, Michael said I should be audio. I don't know. Yeah, Mike says yes, I'm good.
Okay. So let's kick things off in our traditional way. Shannon, Sloane, we'll just call you the S's.
And there's a lot of S's, I know.
It is. What are you drinking tonight?
I'm not much of a drinker. Like
that's okay.
You know, if I'm looking to get drunk, yeah. Then it's whiskey, but no whiskey tonight because I want to be able to talk. So I just have Diet Coke, and anybody who's ever seen me in person, it's to the point now when I'm in a setting, I don't even hide it. Like there's a McDonald's Diet Coke sitting on people come by, take pictures, and I'm like, oh shit, I forgot to move that. So now I'm like, forget it. It's just like people know that's it. That's McDonald's Diet Coke.
But McDonald's Diet Coke.
It is. It's in a different cup, but that is actually a McDonald's Diet Coke in there.
Okay, so McDonald's soda, I typically drink Diet Coke out of a can. But if we go through McDonald's, I want their regular Coke. It tastes better than any other soda. It tastes different and better.
I don't like Coke, but for real, their Diet Coke is the best. But from an inside track, because I know somebody who works for Coke, they have their own mix. Their
McDonald's does?
Yes, it's slightly different than what you can get at other places, and you can taste it.
Different.
It's the best.
Now I kind of want to do a taste test, go to 3 or 4 different fast food restaurants and get a Diet Coke.
I can taste the difference.
Their regular Coke tastes
that's where
different.
It came from, but I would know it wasn't McDonald's.
McDonald's. Yeah, I do like a good. There's something special about McDonald's fountain soda. Mm-hmm. Through all of quarantine, that's the one thing my girl child has missed the most is fountain sodas. She's like, can you randomly, can you just DoorDash me a fountain soda? Yeah.
Hey, whatever works. Becky, what are you drinking tonight?
I don't know. Mike's making me something. I told him to surprise me. I think vodka and cranberry, maybe. I don't know.
He was working on the audio, so.
Well, yeah. Anyway, what are you drinking, Leah?
We are out of all hard liquor in our house, so I'm stuck with a Truly.
Truly.
Unless, I mean, we have triple sec, but I don't think you could make anything with just that.
No, I don't think so. I don't really think so. I don't know.
So,
yeah.
Do you want to put up Shannon's Instagram on the chat?
Yes.
So let's get to know you a little bit, Shannon. So you said in your bio, you are a reader of romance, correct?
Yes.
Are you exclusively romance, or do you like to venture into the other realms of reading?
I came to romance later than many people. Like I was not I snuck my mom. My mom was not a reader. I grew up in a house full of non-readers. And I always loved to read, but as an English major, I read literature.
Mm-hmm.
You know, all the dead white guys, that was it, all the time. So it wasn't until I had my second kid, and then, you know, you're at home and it's the diapers, feeding, and that's about when that's when I discovered romance. But I came at it from like reading thrillers and suspense books. So I was reading like Tess Gerritsen and Iris Johansson and Tammy Hogue, and like that was kind of like my gateway in. And then I accidentally bought a book at Costco because it was a 2-for-1. And I was cheap, you know, it's 2-for-1 by someone.
It's Costco,
right?
It's a good deal.
Nora Roberts. I had no idea who she was, and I read it, and oh my god, I was like, this is awesome. And it wasn't. Then I went into Borders, and I wanted to find another book by this author.
And then you found a ton.
Exactly. So now pretty much, yeah, I read mostly contemporary romance, but I will do like romantic suspense, or I will do some paranormal. I will do a historical, usually if it's someone I know, but I'm not a historical reader.
It's not my jam either.
Yeah, like, and my friends keep telling me, but it's good, but it's good. I'm like, it might be, but like the logical part of my brain says they didn't bathe. So.
Yes. Well, and I have a hard time. I come at it from my mother was a reader, and so was Leah's mom. And we both grew up stealing our mother's romance novels. So that's how she and I come at it. But for me, I read old school historical. And so to read any historical that was written after about 2010, it doesn't read the same. It feels like they plopped modern woman with modern women mentality in the middle of historical romance. And that's not what I'm used to. So it feels weird. It feels awkward. So I have a hard time with current historical romance, which is why for our podcast, we actually brought in 2 historical romance people that love to read it. We have a Duchess and a lady that come in and do all our historical because we can't.
Well, we could,
but you don't want to.
Not really. No. And they like to read it and they want to read it. And we're like, that's fine. You can read it. We'll stick with our contemporary.
Yeah. So, and Leah's a huge contemporary suspense reader.
I do. I love suspense. So what was your last 5-star read?
Wow. I probably should have written things down before coming to this, right?
We ask the hard questions.
Well, because, you know, you read a lot. I read so many books. Salika Snyder's, I'm so bad with titles. It's a paranormal.
Okay.
Big Bad Wolf. That one is a good one. I'm catching up on like, I just read 1.5. I'm like halfway through J.D. Robb In Death. So there's so many of them. I've not kept up. I don't read them all in order. So it's like, I just had a random one on my shelf. So I read it. I'm like, oh, I really missed Rourke. I'll read another one. I had one on my Kindle. So, you know, you can't really go wrong when you're reading Rourke. So.
You can't. And I think like, aren't there like 50 plus of those?
Yeah.
My mom really likes those ones a lot. She gets really into them. I have not ventured down that rabbit hole yet. And
it will be a rabbit hole for you because you will want them in order. And
yes, that is my thing. Like I like to read them in order. And if there's a large backlist, I will read the entire backlist.
I did when I started her, and I just couldn't keep up.
Mhm.
No, because she puts out 2 a year.
Right. So it was like when I first discovered her, and I started at book 1, and then I read a whole bunch. I don't know exactly how many, a lot. But then I'm like, I can't move on to other things.
Nope, it's fair. It's totally fair.
Okay, Becky is going to now put the Goodreads link up for you guys in the chat so you can follow Shannon and Sloane.
Oh, I don't have a Goodreads.
Oh, you
We'll
don't
go
have
with
a
her
Goodreads?
newsletter. No,
Okay.
we'll go with the
Okay.
newsletter. I'll find a Goodreads here in a minute.
Okay.
Sorry,
Newsletter is there.
No, it's fine. So while
It's
Becky's
me.
doing that, do you have a favorite trope that you like to read or a favorite trope to write?
For sure, one of my favorites to both read and write is probably Friends to Lovers. Because I like I've never been like the whole insta love thing, which
Mhm.
you get with a lot of paranormal, and I excuse it because it's paranormal.
Yeah,
But like in the
gets a
real
pass.
world, I am like way too practical to be like, oh, I met you, I'm in love. So the idea of that kind of like long-standing friendship, like you know each other when you've been friends for a long time. So I
Mhm.
really do. That's by far one of my favorites. I like enemies to lovers if it's done well.
Mhm.
Not just like, oh, I don't like you, but now I'm in love.
Yeah, that sounds
Again,
like Becky.
Yeah. It has to
yeah.
be believable. Enemies to lovers, you can't, sometimes I get crazy when enemies to lovers is like, I hate you. I hate you. We have angry sex. And then now I love you.
Right.
No penis is that magical. I'm sorry.
Exactly.
I mean, it could be, but
It's not, Leah. I'm telling
No.
you.
Only in paranormal, and they get the pass on the
Right.
insta love.
that's true.
I do love,
But
see, I
everything's
love
magical
insta
over
love.
there.
I do love insta love.
I do like an insta love too. So why the switch from Shannon to Sloane?
My publisher. That's the short answer. I was all prepped to self-publish. Like we had shopped this series to different publishers, and we got a lot of the feedback. My agent was like, she was hearing like, hey, we really like this, but we don't know what to do with it because it's not really straight contemporary romance. It's not really romantic suspense. It's caper. Like it's not
Mhm.
romantic suspense. Like you have to worry about someone dying. There's no bloodshed. There's no violence. So I'm like, but I really, really wanted to keep writing it.
Mhm.
So I'm like, screw it. I'll just self-publish it. I have my backlist that I've been self-publishing. And so I'm like, I'm just going to do that. But then, as I was thinking in terms of what I have coming up and other things that I want to work on, I saw a call by Zeb Nemeth, who is an editor over at Carina, and she said specifically looking for a heist romance. I'm like, okay. So I had my agent, I'm like, just send it and see what happens. And it was like, boom, boom, boom. It was like, she sent it. And like, we had an offer like really fast and we hadn't subbed to them at all. Because when I was out on submission, that was when things were being shaken up over at Harlequin and people were leaving and
Things were
They've gone
changing.
through. They had
Yes.
some things change up over there, and
yes.
well,
And I was like, I'm gonna wait and see. Like, so they were on our list to sub, and because things were changing over there, I was like, let's wait and see what happens.
Right.
And then we just never went back. So
Mhm.
went back, and so yeah. So then it was a pretty quick turnaround at that point. And they said, hey, because this is a little bit different, how do you feel about a pen name? And I said, okay, I can do a pen name, but it's not a secret because I'm lazy.
I don't like when authors give us two different dynamics of writing though, but under two different names. So like you kind of know what to expect. Like with this one, like you have your contemporary, like run of the mill, and then you switch those gears, but you're not going back and forth as one person. We know like as Sloane Steele, this is what you can expect from Sloane Steele. This is what you can expect from Shannon Schroeder. And there's that divide, and it doesn't muddy the backlist in a way.
So Gretchen wants to know, do you get to choose your pen name?
Yes.
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 She
So
does, Gretchen.
It's totally up to me. And so of course I'm like, I never thought because I've always been dead set against having a pen name. So I just went to my writers group chat and I said, okay, so I need a pen name. And then it was just inundated with ideas, and like, so we like the idea of Steele because of course they're heists, you know,
Mhm.
and I'm old and I remember watching like Remington Steele, who was, you know, come on, the con man of all con men. Um,
I used to
True.
watch that with my mom.
right?
Like, I mean, the reruns, but
So I like that, and then it was like, okay, what do you do for first name? And my contemporary books are all, or almost all, like these big Irish American families. My real first name is Shannon, which is Irish, so it was like, you know, we wanted some of that, and I wanted to keep the SS because branding wise on my website, yes, it's a lot of S's. It also makes it easier for me to remember when I'm signing.
yeah.
That's true. You can just make an S, scribble some things, make another big S, scribble some more things.
Right.
So that's fair. So Susie's asking, why thieves?
You know what? Remember I said I watch a lot of TV? One of my all-time favorite shows is Leverage. And that was one of those shows that it came on when my kids were very little.
Mhm.
And so the rule in my house is always like, by 8 o'clock, you better be in bed because I'm done looking at you, like as a mom. Like that's it. It's mommy time, go away. But even then, like you're still like doing dishes and laundry. But
Yeah.
Leverage is one of those shows that I watched every single week. Because even like when it first, like the first teasers and trailers that came out for it, again, being someone who is very old, I grew up in the 80s, and you heard like, you know, the idea, the concept for the show was that, you know, we're going after the bad guys, but we are bad guys. And I'm like, it was kind of like 18 for New Generation. Like this is up,
Yeah.
18 blew things
Yeah.
up. These guys are hacking and stealing. And I loved it. And the cons that they would do were kind of complicated. And you had this whole found family, and I love the concept of all these people used to working individually and coming together and the relationships. And I always thought, wouldn't it be cool if I could do Leverage as all women? And so it was like one of those things where it was in my little notebook of ideas, but it was like, I don't know how to do this yet. Like it requires plotting, and I am not a plotter. I can't do it. So it was like, it was just an idea. And just so it sat for a long time in the back of my head, until I had some free time and it wasn't under deadline. I'm like, okay, I think I want to try it. And so I did, and I just had fun with it. So that's why Thieves, because it's Leverage's fault.
Well, and Susie says Leverage was great. And Gretchen said, when I think of thieves, I think of the TV show White Collar with Neil Caffrey. So she might have to watch some Leverage now. So.
And it's getting a reboot.
Oh, really?
Oh.
Yes, Leverage. Everybody calls it Leverage 2.0, but the official name is Leverage Redemption. And if you have Amazon, it's going to be on IMDb TV, like July 9th, I think. So most of the same cast is coming back and new people, and I'm very excited about it.
So Timothy Hutton returns.
No, Timothy Hutton is the one that's not coming back.
He's not coming back.
He's not coming back. There was some,
But he was like the biggest part of that show.
Well, he wasn't my favorite.
She told Julia.
I will take Aldous Hodge over him any day.
So Fran is on here, and she says that you're a great plotter. Is Fran your PA?
Fran's my agent.
Oh,
she's not. So do you, when
Fran,
you
you're
were
telling
writing, do you
lies.
plot or do you pants?
I mostly pants. I say mostly because I do a lot of pre-writing. Like before I start writing, I will spend weeks like figuring out my characters. I create a playlist. I listen to the playlist like nonstop. Like my family hates when I start to book because then they like every time they get in the car, my kids are like, this again. I'm like, yep. Until I'm ready to write. Yes, it is.
Sounds like my house, but like we don't have that like in our house, but we listen to the same stuff over and over and over again.
Yeah, they don't like it much, but so I use that to kind of like figure it out, and you know, I'll have random scenes in my head, kind of like what needs to happen, but and then I just sit down and I just write. So no, I really don't
plot.
You're a little bit of a blend though. You have that like plotter, like
I have some ideas going on. I don't
start.
Like totally, I'm not totally clueless when I start, but yeah, you know, I write myself in the corner and then I'm like, I need them to be over here. How do I make that happen? I don't know.
That's what really good editors are for.
Actually, that's usually what my writer friends are for. We used to like pre-pandemic times, like every Sunday we would go to Panera and we'd
fun.
chat, we'd brainstorm, and then we'd write. And then every now and then you'd be like, I'm stuck. And then they'll tell you what to write. And even if it's utterly ridiculous, it usually will spark something that will work. So, Panera Supper Club always helps.
They may be able to start up again soon.
I was going to say, hopefully now you'll be able to meet again. And
yes, hopefully soon.
I know many writers are missing their Starbucks time.
Yeah.
And I read one writer today, like her tweet was like, I hope they're saving my table. I have 2 more weeks until I hit my immunity and then I'm coming for it. I'm like, okay.
That's dedication right there.
That's a lot of love for a Starbucks booth. And she prefers the one that's like table booth with a chair on the end, like the wall seat, so she can watch the world. I'm just like, that's really specific. Like, very
I actually was thinking that today, like, because I was working on a developmental edit that I was doing. I was like, I wish I was sitting in a coffee shop reading this and not using my internet. And I was stealing somebody else's internet. We use so much internet right now.
I miss using other people's internet.
Well, I wanted the coffee too, but like, I just like being able to sit not in my house.
No, that's fair. That is fair.
Because then the other people in your house cannot bother you if you're at another location.
I know. I mean, most everybody was like doing stuff today, so it wasn't so bad. But like, there are days where they are all here. And I'm like, I'm done with you. I'm just done.
I love my family.
I mean, I love mine too, but
we all say that a lot, but you can still be really done with them.
My problem is I actually homeschooled pre-pandemic because I have a medically fragile child, and so this is like year 6 of us homeschooling. So it's not anything new or exciting for us. And our life didn't really change during the pandemic, other we didn't go out. What I miss is somebody bringing me a drink. I always tell everybody I'm too pretty for people not to be bringing me drinks. Like, I shouldn't have to make my own cocktail. Somebody wants to serve me. But we're getting there. So anyway, let's see here. What do they say? Oh, Heather, I need to watch White Collar. And then Lindsay says, I miss coffee shops so much. That was the first thing I did once the immunity kicked in. That's fair. That is fair.
That's fair.
And then Gretchen wants to know how many plots have been born from coffee shop people watching.
Probably a lot.
Many.
I love to people watch. It's like my favorite pastime because I don't really like people. I just like to watch them. So let's talk a little bit about your new series. So your current release, It Takes a Thief, Counterfeit Capers, book 1. It is out in the world, ready to read. And then book 2 releases June 29th. And that is Between Two Thieves. So where did you get the idea for this redemption story?
Remember when I said I'm really bad at plotting? But I'm good at characters.
I remember this.
So for me, it was about like I knew kind of what I wanted, and it was just kind of letting those characters play in my head. Like, okay, they can't just be running around stealing shit. Like they're like, why are they doing it? I was like, okay, well, if we go like, okay, they're gonna steal, but they don't really need the money. What are they doing with the money? Where's it going? So like I kind of just like let that play out in my head until I came up with they are fixing what their dads screwed up. And once I landed on that, then everything else kind of clicked. In terms of like I knew, like I said, I wanted to build a team, but I needed that beginning piece. Because yes, you bring a thief in, a thief's going to steal anything, and like it could be a fun story. But I knew for me it wasn't going to just be enough to be like, hey, they want to steal to be rich. Right. I wanted there to be something more substantial to it than, hey, I just want to get rich. So that was really what, and I can't pinpoint like the one thing like, oh, that's what made me think of it. Because I was doing lots of like research, watching movies, TV shows. Lots of but I also read books and articles here. Like there's like lots of background stuff. So I think it was just like a compilation of all of that where I was like trying to figure out what would make that work.
I like the art element and how I don't really want to spoil, but there's a forgery like aspect to it. And when I was in high school, like one of our assignments, or actually as a senior in high school, one of my like, because I did like um what is it called? Independent studies, where I could just do whatever I wanted. And my art teacher was like, just have at it. So I actually did a bunch of copies of like old paintings. I did like a Degas copy and like a couple other things. I did this whole series, but it was just, I loved like looking at a piece and trying to recreate it. Granted, I am not as good as those people. And granted, this was high school. So it's definitely not as good back then, but I loved like researching like the way they painted and how they painted and all of that aspect of it. I mean, I was an art major in college too, so like I had a lot of that background there, so I really appreciate like that art aspect to it.
For me, I'm not an artist, could not paint anything like stick figures. That's about it.
Mhm.
But I have two children. I don't know where they get the talent from. No clue. Especially my youngest. And actually, I commissioned her to create
Mhm.
artwork for this series, so I could do an adult coloring book. So
That's awesome.
I did the quote pages because it required zero artistic talent.
Mhm.
But then I like gave her a list of scenes, like here's scenes. So like she created what these characters looked like, um and it was a lot of fun just to do like as an extra little thing.
That's
But I have
awesome.
no artistic talent. So for me, it's like, and I've, as an English major, liberal arts, I had like art history classes, I've done
Mhm.
a lot of that. And I live in Chicago. And when you've got a kid who's an artist, you go to the Art Institute and you go to,
Mhm.
so when you're on vacation, you find the other art museums.
Yeah.
I've
Yep.
spent a lot of
Well, and
time.
you have some really good ones in Chicago. Like
Yeah.
you're fortunate. Like I live near Pittsburgh, so we have some wonderful museums because like we have the Warhol and things like that. But I live far enough out that, and plus I hate the city. So, but you're, but there's some nice museums in Chicago.
Yes.
So Gretchen wants to know, do all three books need to be read as a trilogy, or can you read them as a standalone?
Um, each book focuses on a separate couple. So, and that couple gets their HEA.
Mhm.
But you do have the overarching plot of Mia and Jared wanting to steal this artwork and sell it to help their father's victims. So there is that. So you do have the overarching, but if you know going in kind of what the deal is, like they're stealing art, replacing it with forgeries, or selling it and giving the money away, like that's all you really need to know, because each book will stand on its own. I mean, I think they're better in order because you kind of see all of the characters progress, especially
Mhm.
because Mia's book is the third one, but you get her point of view starting in book one. You get certain scenes in her point of view, so you kind of see her as a character.
I'm curious.
So,
I would be curious to see how much Mia changes from book one to book three.
so Gretchen, read the whole series
Yeah,
is what we're telling you.
just do it,
Just
Gretchen.
do it. Well, and it's interesting that you went art, because a lot of thief styled romances tend to be jewels.
Mhm.
Lots of, jewel heists and jewelry forgeries and stuff like that. So the fact that you went art, I think, was really unique and compelling.
There may be some jewelry at some point. I mean, Mia kind of leaves the door open when she
Mhm.
hires her forger. She's like, "So do you work in other media?" And London's like, "Most of it, sure. Why not? I can do more than paint." So
Mhm.
there's painting, there's sculptures, and I just across those three books, it's just paintings and sculptures that they have. But
Are
um,
you going to do more in this series
um,
after book three, or are you going to stick with these three and then kind of venture into a different avenue after the
I'm
fact?
only contracted with Karina for those three, but I do have. I want to say planned because there's no plan for it other than an idea of London should get something. London's the forger. So I'm thinking a Christmas novella. So it has a title of The Thief Who Stole Christmas. Um, that's all it is. And I know it's London's story. It will probably be a novella. Um, but I will just self-publish that once I figure out what it's going to be.
Mhm. I
It's a
wondered
nice
about her
book.
because she's not in the list, but I was like, she could have a fun book.
Yeah. So I think she's going to get a Christmas novella. I just, haven't started really doing anything with it yet.
There's the
I have
thought,
not.
and there's just a thought.
Yes.
She's just a thought.
Gretchen says it sounds like its own TV show, and it absolutely gives off that vibe, Gretchen. So it's worth it. Before we get into the next question, are we playing a game next? Is that what we're doing, Leah?
I have a game to play, yes.
So before we get into that, I'm going to just remind everybody about the Buzzing About Romance Summer Reading Challenge. You can sign up for that now. The first giveaway is June 7th, but if you sign up by June 1st, we have a special just sign up giveaway. You didn't have to read anything for that giveaway. But there are giveaways all summer long with a grand prize announced on September the 2nd when we are live with author Delta James. So anyway.
I didn't know we were doing that live.
Oh yeah, she wants to do it live. She's a hoot. Do you know,
I love
have you read
Delta
Delta
James.
James' paranormal romances? She writes shifter romances. They're very good.
They are.
They're very sexy.
Anyway.
That's what we do. We create lists for people. TBR is like nobody's business. We did an episode recording 2 nights ago, and we were with our Buzzing About Romance librarians talking about summer reads and, you know, why we read more in summer and all that kind of stuff. And I got a message from one of them, and they're like, listen, my TBR grew by like 9 books last night. I'm like, you're welcome. So glad we could help you.
We are not sorry about that at all.
No. Anyway, Leah, go through the books again and when they release.
Oh, I didn't. Hold on. Wait, I have to go back.
Oh, I can do it then. It Takes a Thief is out now. Between Two Thieves comes out June 29th. And To Catch a Thief comes out August 24th. And we'll go through them again before we sign off. But now we're going to play a game with Leah. Leah, what game are we going to play?
Wait, hold on a second.
Leah's lost her place.
Well, I was going back and then you said you would do it. And so
I'm sorry.
we're going to play Would You Rather because we had such fun with it last week on our like happy hour. So Becky was like, let's do that again. But I have all new Would You Rathers tonight. So there is no Nutella or maple syrup, Gretchen. Don't worry.
Thank you. Yeah. That was gross.
It's weird. It was weird.
I just copy and pasted online. Okay, I don't think I have any weird, gross ones like that. Okay. Would you rather 30 butterflies instantly appear from nowhere every time you sneeze, or one very angry squirrel appear from nowhere every time you cough?
Butterflies. I don't have bad allergies. I don't think I sneeze all that much. And squirrels are scary. I lived in Chicago for years. You don't want a black squirrel. Yeah. They are like scary.
They are so scary. I went to Kent State for a year and a half, and the black squirrels freaked me out.
They're aggressive. So no, I wouldn't want an angry squirrel popping out at me.
I don't know. Okay, because the butterflies kind of think would freak me out.
Why would butterflies freak you out?
A lot of fluttering.
It's just like things that fly are creepy.
But who says they're fluttering on you? Maybe they flutter on the girl child.
Yeah, no. I think I'm going with an angry squirrel, and Gretchen is with me. She's deathly afraid of anything with wings. She's my people.
Okay. Would you rather lose the ability to read or lose the ability to speak?
This is stupid hard, Leah.
Both
are my livelihood.
I know.
Can I still listen?
I know. That's what I'm like. I can.
Yes,
listen.
you can. There's nothing about your ears.
And I'm doing audiobooks.
Read. I'm going with read. I'll lose my to read.
Would you rather your shirt?
Wait, just Lindsay says squirrels make her angry, so she's going with butterflies.
Speak. No more conference calls. Yes, Gretchen, you can listen. Okay, so would you rather your shirts be 2 sizes too big or 2 sizes or 1 size too small? Always.
Mine are always, I've always worn big shirts, so always I'd go with big.
If I went with too small, there'd be a whole lot of boobage for people to see. So we're going to go with big just for the safety of the children.
Because we care
and
about
the old
children.
men that could die. I mean...
Would you
Everybody
rather
is voting big?
Would you rather live in a cave or live in a treehouse?
Treehouse.
Now, have you seen the shows where they make like these out of control fancy tree houses.
Mansion tree houses.
They do. Like my husband and my children were watching the show where they make like these elaborate, like it was nicer than my house. Like, no joke.
So I'm a big lady. We're going to go with the cave because it would hurt when I fall out of the tree. And we all know Becky would fall.
But caves are dark and creepy things
True.
are in caves.
I have lighters. It'll be fine.
There's
Gretchen,
spiders.
And no.
I have no
Treehouse
problem with
Masters.
spiders.
That's right, Gretchen. It's called Treehouse Masters.
Lindsay says there are some tree houses you can stay in that are on Airbnb. Girls' weekend.
Could you imagine all of us in a tree house?
No, somebody would stumble out drunk. It would be a mistake.
You could say someone else like, oh, Seattle, we're going to Seattle and vacation in a treehouse.
No, we're not. Mm-mm.
Would you rather there be a perpetual water balloon war going on in your town or a perpetual food fight?
Water balloon.
Becky?
Is there cake? Asking.
I mean, there could be.
I mean, could you? Okay. Think of the sexiest. Like, I'm looking over Shannon's shoulder of her more than this sexy poster. Okay. He lives in my town and there is a food fight. And he is going to have frosting dripping off those abs. I'm just saying.
A wet t-shirt
But he could be in a wet t-shirt 24/7.
Yeah, but he is going to need me to help him wipe off the frosting, is all I'm saying.
Or lick it off.
That would be much better. Anyway, food fight? I think food fight.
As long as cake is involved.
As long as there's cake and frosting and half-naked men.
I mean, she's not asking for specifics or anything.
No, not at all. Gretchen says water balloon.
Okay, here's another one. Would you rather your only mode of transportation be a donkey or a giraffe?
A donkey.
A donkey. It's a little bit more doable. Like, I don't like you need a ladder to get up on. Giraffes are really big.
I also really just want to be like, yeah, I'm riding in on that jackass. I mean,
this is why you shouldn't leave me in charge of the games.
Gretchen says whipped cream, and it sounds like spring break, Becky.
It kind of does.
Spring break. I'm also like almost 45.
Susie says donkey.
Yeah.
She just wants to say she's riding in on a jackass too.
That's right. Probably Susie does.
Okay. Would you rather be 10 minutes late or always be 20 minutes early?
Early.
20 minutes early.
And because I'm married to someone who has no concept of time and he's always late for everything. And so, no, I'm one of those people that I've always been early. And the length of time being early has shrunk with having children because, now you're responsible for getting all of them out the door.
I lie to my kids and tell them we have to be out the door like 5 minutes before we have to be.
I lie to my husband about what time he used to be at places because he's
but they're not allowed to lie to me, but I lie to them regularly.
Our quandary comes that I have 2 children with some anxiety, and it is inbred in me that if you are not 20 minutes early, you are actually a half an hour late at that point. But my children do not do well if we are just waiting around. But my early time has gotten less early time. So now instead of 20 minutes early, maybe we're only 10 minutes early.
Right.
So you're only anxious for 10 minutes.
See, but my kids, wouldn't the anxiety be worse if it was like, you got to hurry because we're running late and you have to rush.
It's like both ends.
That's more anxiety inducing because
It just makes me crazy how long it takes a child to put on a pair of shoes.
Socks. It's socks in my house. Mine are 10 and 7. And it takes them 10 minutes to put socks on some days. It's like you just shove your foot in it. shove it in there.
Put the crap on and let's go. Like, I don't know. Shoes are a thing here. But it's fine. It's fine.
Here it is.
God love them. Okay, what's the next question, Leah?
Would you rather know the history of every object you touch or be able to talk to animals?
Wait, I don't talk to animals now?
No, but like they talk
wouldn't be able to
back.
talk back. I would take the animals because I don't want to know where some things have been.
I know.
Apparently, you're not married to my type of husband, because my type of husband, I'm on my own audio tour. Would you like to know the history of the Davenport? No, he's not that bad. I'm just teasing. But I would like to talk to animals.
I just want them to talk back to me.
Yeah.
Like when I'm having a conversation with the dog, like, I mean, not that I do that, but like when we're outside and like I say, it's time to go to the bathroom. I'm tired of being outside. You can say, I'm going. Because that's what he would sound like. I'm going now.
Well, and my dog is acting like a complete jackass tonight, and he keeps wanting to go in and out, and I'm just not sure why. It would be nice if he could tell me. The other bad thing is this is a dog with a bedtime who would start yelling at me at 8:30, like, when are we going to bed, lady? Are we going to bed now? It's bedtime, lady.
And he would refer to you as lady.
Yeah, pretty much.
Maybe.
I ask him all the time how'd he get so handsome. I do ask the dog that all the time. I also ask Michael that. Anyway.
So sometimes you say it to the dog and Michael says, well, thank you.
Yes, very much so. That or he looks at me like, I just heard you ask the dog. You don't really mean that for me, do you?
Here's a funny story. So this is totally off, but it's in like the dog room. So I'm standing in my kitchen and my husband is standing behind me tonight, like doing something. I don't know. I'm not paying attention, but I'm talking to my son. He's like, go say goodnight to like our daughter. I'm like, I'll go in a minute. I was like writing something down. I was writing like a grocery list. He attached the dog leash, retractable dog leash, to the back of my pants. So as I'm walking in the hall, like to our hallway, I'm attached to the leash.
I'm going for a walk, Leah.
It is funny at this moment, but it was not funny when he did it. I was
So
my Michael did not impress me tonight.
Gretchen says we pet owners are absolutely crazy and love it. And for people that are watching that don't follow us on Instagram, Buzzing About Romance, every Friday we feature a different floof Friday on Instagram. Pictures of all of our listeners' dogs and sometimes kitty cats. We have a tortoise, but we haven't shared him yet.
Perry hasn't got his shining moment.
He hasn't had his shining moment yet.
Okay. So. Would you rather have all traffic lights you approach be green or never have to stand in line again?
Stand in line?
Have
you been to the Walmart when there's only 2 lanes open?
They only open 2 lanes in the Walmart anymore.
Oh, my Walmart is almost all self-checkout.
Ours is too. It's the worst.
We have like 12 checkout lanes that you can get into, and then like 2 if you actually need a person.
Yeah.
Which doesn't the worst part when you have alcohol, because they still need to have an adult come over.
Oh, I can't buy alcohol in Walmart.
Oh.
Well, no, because you live in Pennsylvania, which is weird. For us, the worst part about self-checkout is, I'm a bigger gal in the middle of menopause, so I get hot flashes. And as I'm sitting there checking stuff out, like sweat's dripping off my head, and I look like a freak and a hot mess, and it's no wonder nobody wants to come help me when the thing won't scan. It's the truth. It's a problem, Leah. Just you wait till you get older.
I'm
still young.
I'm older than you, and I've been blessed in that lots of other horrible things, but no hot flashes.
I have hot flashes now. It's not good.
They're the worst.
Okay. Would you
Gretchen
rather?
Says lines. Everybody says lines. Gretchen says lines because she goes, Disneyland. She lives in California.
I don't know, but I hate a stoplight. Anyway, so would you rather be unable to move your body every time it rains or not be able to stop moving while the sun is out?
Okay, wait, repeat that to me again.
Would you rather not be able to move when it rains or not be able to stop moving when the sun is out? Like when it's hot.
Do I have a
I would
book?
stop moving.
Do I have a book when it rains?
I mean, I don't really move too much when it rains now.
I was going to say, I'm thinking it takes like hardly any movement to touch the page on my Kindle. Like, I don't even know that a finger tap counts.
Like, I mean, if you're a two-hand holder, you just kind of.
Right? I'm going to go.
But if you have like 4 days I could not do that.
You just told me to sit on my couch for 4 days.
I couldn't. I don't think I could. No, I might have a mental breakdown if I did that.
No, I mean, I have too many. My kids are little, so I would have to take care of them. So
again, you're really not underselling the couch here. As long as I'm not getting sweaty, I like the idea of the couch. What's next?
Would you rather have a flying carpet or a car that can drive underwater?
Flying carpet.
Car underwater.
Why?
Because you get to see all the pretty fishies.
No, I have a fear of
But you could
drowning.
see
Well, it would not work for you then. Think of the fishies and the whales. I saw a TikTok about whales tonight. I want to be underwater.
No, I'd rather fly because I can fly wherever I want. Traffic?
Sure.
Who cares about the
But
traffic?
there are not handrails on a flying
carpet. You could
carpet.
put them on. You could make your handrails.
Or if I'm in charge of flying that carpet, I'm not worried about it. I'm just not letting some other person come along and fly my carpet.
Right. I mean, Susie says the claustrophobic in her says flying carpet, and Gretchen says car submarine. Yes, Gretchen, you and
With multiple E's. She's very excited about it.
We are so off track tonight.
Thursday. I blame Thursday. Would you rather only wear one color each day or have to wear 7 colors every day?
One color.
Like each day.
One color.
I'm okay with a monotone. I don't need to be a rainbow.
But I like to be a rainbow.
Okay. Well, you can be a rainbow. I'm going to go with one color.
I
mean, I'm pretty monotone most days anyway, though. So, I mean, that's my life now.
My life in Catholic school, I wore a uniform every day, like one color. That's easy.
I went to public school, but honestly, there was like chatter when we were there about getting uniforms. And I was like, why don't they do it? I don't want to pick out my clothes every day. It would have been awesome.
Before we homeschooled, our kids attended Catholic school, and that was the best. There was never any fighting about what you were going to wear and what matched. It was green and blue plaid, green polo shirts, like nothing to really freak out about. And I loved it. The worst days were the out of uniform days. We used to have to plan, especially with the girl child, 3 days in advance. She had to pick her outfit out, and it was not allowed to change because it was just
a lot of
traumatic.
stress. So Gretchen says, what if you fall off the magic carpet? It always freaked her out with Aladdin and Jasmine.
True.
Like, again, I'm in control of it. It's not just going crazy. I'm driving it like I drive my car. I have faith in my ability to fly that carpet.
I mean, nobody else might, but you do.
But think about this. If I'm giving somebody else a ride and they get annoying, I can just, and then they're gone.
Tip them over. Okay, one more question, Leah.
Okay, hold on. I have to pick a good one.
These weren't the good ones.
I had 34 different questions.
Oh, you were like high achieving tonight, weren't you?
No, I just was like copy and pasting. I was like, oh, this one will make me giggle. I'll put it in there. Okay. Would you rather have whatever you are thinking to appear above your head for everyone to see, or have absolutely everything you do live streamed for everyone to see?
Like everything?
Everything.
Let them see my thoughts. People already don't like me, and I'm okay with that. Because a lot of times
Yeah,
my
we're going
face
with
says what
thoughts.
my brain has going on, even though the words don't come out.
I mean, these little windows into our lives, these little lives and live streams that we do are enough. People would not want to see more. I'd have like less friends than I have now. I think that we're safer. They already know I'm not a nice person, so we'll just stick with my
Right?
thoughts.
Yeah, stick with the thoughts.
So,
There would be no doubt about what I'm really thinking.
Yes, Susie, both of those could be very dangerous because I'm not always the nicest thinker. I don't always say the mean things, but I think the mean things.
so Shannon, what's next for you? So we know that we've got To Catch a Thief we have Between Two Thieves that comes out June 29th. And then To Catch a Thief comes out August 24th. Are there any other projects on the back burner?
There is the hope that I have for a novella for the thieves. We're hoping. And I am working on a new title for a new series for Shannon Schroeder, which is just weird when I say my name in third person. But it's, regular contemporary romance. It's in the same world as two of my other series, the O'Leary series and the For Your Love is like a northwest side Chicago neighborhood.
Mhm.
And so this is another family in that neighborhood.
Awesome.
Will you have
Awesome.
like snippets of the O'Learys and the other family in there, or?
Yes. Not lots, but a little bit where, you get to, because
Like they go to the bar.
well, they have like an annual block party. So I introduced this family at the end of the For Your Love series at the block party, where it was just like the hero of that book was just talking about the other families in the neighborhood. And like at night, now they're all adults, they're doing truth or dare while they're getting drunk around a bonfire. So you got to see these characters, and I'm like, I want to write their story. So now I am.
That's fun. So guys, make sure you sign up for Sloane's newsletter, Shannon's newsletter. I shared the link. It's in the description of the video and also in the chat. Make sure you sign up so you can keep up to date when her next books are releasing. So if you guys are still watching along, give us a hey in the chat. Like we said, you can pick a book from Shannon, an ebook that's up for grabs, and then we are going to gift someone a t-shirt from I Love HEA's Etsy shop, and I will put their link to their Etsy shop in our chat. Check them out. They have all romance geared book or t-shirts. So romance book t-shirts, tote bags, zipper bags, all sorts of cool, and hoodies. So give me a hey, but we're going to ask you one last question. We've started our Buzzing About Romance conversation cards. These are random prompts or questions that have come up throughout that we just kind of like to reiterate that are just a little different. So tonight's question is, if you had to give your current book, so we will go with It Takes a Thief. If you had to give your current book an anthem song, what would it be? And I didn't even know about your playlists, so this kind of fits right in.
It does.
I wrote that book like a year ago. Do you think I remember the playlist? I'd actually have to go and look.
Well, you could give us the one that is closest like to your memory.
And you know what? And it's probably the song that sticks out in my head is probably the least anthem-y for the book, because it's one of those songs that I put on and it made sense at the time. But Secret Agent Man, which obviously they're not secret agents, but there's a lot of secrecy and hiding of identities in this book and the lying. Yes, that's what it is.
No, now it's going to be stuck in my head.
It's just, like it gets in your head. So that's one of those that, my playlist, I listen to it so much it becomes background noise when I'm actually writing. But that was one that, I would skip because it does, even though it's background noise, all the other songs would be, I could ignore, but that one, like, it gets stuck in there.
It is. It's one of those catchy ones where it's like you can't stop singing it, but you only sing that one section.
Shannon, is your brother Ed?
Yes.
He said, "Good job, sis. I'm proud of you."
That's so nice that he came on and watched, though.
Gretchen wants to know, she forgot to ask, is Sloane your more dangerous side of creativity? So do you take more risks when you're writing as Sloane? My mother's here.
Hi, Lynn.
To a certain degree, yeah. Not dangerous, like I said, like the books are not like scary dangerous, but kind of like when I sat down to write these books, it was like they're not going any, like I didn't have anyone under contract. It was like I just do whatever I want and it's fun. And that's kind of how I approached writing them. So that it wasn't. My other books, I think, are a little bit more strategic. Like this is kind of like what it's supposed to be, where these are like this can be anything. And so yes, a little bit more risk taking there.
And Ed said to say Mary is watching too.
That's his wife.
That's his wife. That's adorable. Thanks for watching. We appreciate you guys watching along with us.
We're sorry that you're stuck with us tonight.
Way to spend your Thursday evening. Okay, so Shannon, pick a number between 1 and 4. I'm assuming Ed doesn't want a romance t-shirt.
I mean, but Mary might. Does
Mary want a romance t-shirt? Is she a t-shirt wearer? Ed, ask Mary if she wants in on a romance t-shirt. We'll add her name. It says things like, you had me at bad boy or whatever. She can go on she'll get, whoever wins gets to go on the website and pick the t-shirt they want. So, so let us know, Ed, if she does. Mary does want a t-shirt. So,
yeah, okay, it's good we asked.
So a number between 1 and 5.
3.
Okay, Miss Gretchen, you are our winner. Gretchen, please email me. What?
Lynn says she understands the frustration of no alcohol and grocery in Pennsylvania.
She's in Pennsylvania visiting her friend up near Harrisburg, I think.
Oh, she's still there?
She's there until mid-June.
She's partying it up.
Yes, but she's stunted because she can't buy wine at the grocery store.
Well, if she goes to certain ones, she can.
Anyway, Gretchen, if you will email us. Rules. Gretchen, if you'll email us at info@bookcaseandcoffee.com or Becky@bookcaseandcoffee.com, I will give you the website and you can let me know which t-shirt you would like and your address. So, Gretchen is like, I can't believe that it's a thing that you can't get alcohol.
It's a thing. This is
going to be a whole conversation all on its own. Anyway, Shannon, Sloane, thank you for joining us this evening.
We should just call her Shannon Sloane from now on. It's like just combine the two. It's true.
Oh my God.
Like I'm never coming on here again.
She's not. She's gonna be like, please do not ever sign me up for those people again.
This was fun.
Everybody, It Takes a Thief is currently available now wherever you get your books. I think Carina Press though is only ebook, correct?
They are an ebook, but there will be mass market print run later this year. They're coming because they're going to do part of their book club. So
okay,
so it's like a special edition type thing.
I don't really know.
Okay, so for right now they're available in ebooks.
Yes, right now just ebook.
So you can buy them wherever you get your ebooks, and then on June 29th, Between Two Thieves will be out wherever you get your ebooks, and then To Catch a Thief on August 24th. So make sure you go check those out. Shannon, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Really appreciate having you.
And thank you everybody that came and watched tonight.
This was a great time. We will see you. We're not back until June 9th with author Tracy Brogan in her latest release. So thanks everyone for joining us, and we'll see you again on June the 9th.
Happy reading, everybody.